So you have a train, Agile Release Train. You can prioritize perfectly. You can execute flawlessly, but if your architecture is weak, your speed is just temporary. In SAFe, the system architect is the technical compass for the train to move forward faster all the time.
I'm Greg Miścichowski, and this is the Uncover Leadership Podcast. For over 15 years, I've been leading teams, and my mission is simple: to share my experience so you can grow on your own leadership journey. Each episode, I'll bring you some practical tips, real-world insights, and lessons from my path to help guide yours. So listen in. Let's uncover leadership together.
An Agile Release Train, the system architect should not be just a senior developer that's going to be put in that place because our architecture silo is somewhere outside and we just consult with them what are we going to do. That should not happen. There should be some actual architect that knows the system and can help the teams create the new structures, new guidance to move forward, to achieve the goals that are set for the train and for all of the team members. It also should not be the only one person that's going to be allowed to make decisions. In Agile, everything is about collaboration, about communication, working together, understanding where we are and what we can accomplish with the knowledge that we have today. Then we can address the other aspects. It should not be just a code reviewer that's on a team level, and it should not be a technical dictator that's going to go in and say the teams what they need to do. Like I mentioned, everything is about collaboration, communication, working together. So what does the system architect actually does? The person that role should be able to define the architectural runway. We have a goal to achieve. We have some what for the train. We know why we're going to build it. We know what. And the architecture runway going to tell us the initial how we can get there. What's the path for us? What we're going to be building on. That person should be the responsible for the guidelines for the technical standards. Alignment between the cross teams. We have multiple teams. We need to get that technical alignment on the decisions and the changes that need to happen. That person should also balance the features and technical health of the work that's being done. It needs to be a person that's going to say like, how we cannot do all of the features because we are not working on any technical aspects. We don't create any enablers. And next PI, the team, not going to be able to work because we're going to be blocked with everything. So there's need to be some authority in that role. And that person also going to support all of that enable work. The team's going to have the plans to build something and they're going to go back to the system architects with questions. Then they're going to work together. And we need to make sure that with everything that's put in around the system architect, we're going to prevent the chaos in the future. Like I mentioned, like we cannot be in a situation where we're going to start the next chunk of work and we are not ready because none of the architecture decisions were made. There are no plans, there are no designs, there are no knowledge what we need to create first. Like let's say for the cloud solutions, we don't have any pipelines to push the codes in the new structure. That's a big no. And a little bit like for the other leadership roles, there's going to be some tension. There's going to be that discussion with the business because the business always going to want more features. They're going to want to move faster and faster and faster. The product manager going to try to focus on bringing the value. So again, it's value, it's usually features. The team's going to ask for the clarity and stability, and the system architect is going to step in and all of that, and he's going to say like, we want to move faster, but we need to do this in order not to be blocked in the future. We want to bring value, but without pausing a little bit and holding something off, we're not going to get the right structure to bring that value. And then for the teams, like this is the way we used to do something for a lot of time. The technology change, and the existing technology, it's not going to be able to help us with what's coming next. So there are changes coming in. If we don't invest in something now, we usually have to pay for it later, much more, because we're going to get hold-offs, we're going to get bottlenecks, we're going to have work that's just on pause. And that's the technical leadership courage embedded in that role. Where the system architects can fail, if it's going to be over-engineering mindset, if they're going to think only about creating new designs, if that person going to have the set of rules and going to switch itself to just be a gatekeeper, do the reviews from what the teams are producing, checking if it's in alignment with what was existing, and if it's going to create the blockage for the delivery, if not going to work with the teams, it's my way or no way, that's not the right mindset, because sometimes even the best designs going to fail in certain situations because we cannot predict everything. We cannot predict the way the user is going to use it. We cannot predict the data if we move the data. We need to think, we need to have an open mind and think together about small changes that need to happen here and there. And definitely, if that person is going to ignore the business context, we can create something awesome, technologically savvy, but it's not going to bring the business value. It's going to fail because no one's going to be using it. And if that person is going to be avoiding the hard conversations, avoiding the saying no, or trying to pause some speed on the features, we're going to lose the traction. So there's need to be that high level of communication with the teams, with the art leadership, and with the business. Now, from the leadership position, the system architect needs to have that long-term vision, long-term thinking, in order to have a discussion with the business, understand where they need, where they are today, what they need immediately, and what they will need in the future. Because we can create something that is fitting up 100% for existing solutions, but it's going to fail when we're going to add something that's needed a year from now. We need to make sure that the communication, it's simple enough when we communicate with the business, and it's in deep enough when we are going to be talking with the teams, because we need to enable them and they need to understand where we are going. And we need to make sure that we're not going to just dictate the solutions, that we're going to have the conversation with the team, help them understand why some designs are created the way, what they're going to be supporting. And if the team's going to have questions, they can ask them. If the team's going to come back with some alternative solutions, they should be reviewed. We need to build that shared understanding where we are, where we're going. That's why on the PA planning, we have the section for the architectural runway, where the system architects can come in, and that person can explain for the team what we're building. And everything is tying back to the season 1, where I talk about communication, accountability, decision making. All of that you can see in that role. I hope you like the introduction to this role, the system architect, to the prior roles that I talk about, the product manager and release train engineer. It's, as always, a lot more into each role, so please let me know in the comments if you want to get a deep dive on any particular role. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please leave a comment. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, follow me. And if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, leave the thumbs up. It's going to help. As always, hope to see you next week. Thank you.